Thank you everyone for coming here tonight. The purpose of this news conference is to announce two arrests that were made in connection with the September 2021 case in Marlborough involving the kidnapping of a 64-year-old woman. On September 11th at approximately 10:04 p.m., State Police Troop K was notified by the Berlin Police Department. They had located a 64-year-old female victim who stated she was abducted from the Big Y parking lot in the town of Marlborough. The victim stated while she was placing groceries into her vehicle at approximately 7 p.m., two young black males wearing masks approached her and demanded money. The suspects proceeded to throw her in the back seat of her vehicle. They displayed a handgun, placed a bag over her head, and assaulted her by hitting her with an object in the face several times. The two males then stole the victim's vehicle. With the victim in the back seat, they drove the vehicle to East Hartford, where one of the suspects used the victim's ATM card to obtain money from the ATM machine. They continued to drive into the town of Berlin. They threw the victim out of the vehicle and drove behind a building where they lit that vehicle on fire. The victim was treated at a local hospital for serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Today, we would like to thank the Berlin Police Department, Homeland Security, Hartford Police Department, East Hartford, Windsor, Manchester, Glastonbury, Middletown, and Wethersfield Police Departments for their role in assisting us with this investigation. Without their help, this case would not have been possible to bring to a close. Our Eastern District Major Crime Squad diligently worked on this case. This is something that brought a great deal of attention to our state and really rattled the community. On Tuesday, March 1st, the accused, Kenneth Gordon, September 9th, 2001, and a 16-year-old juvenile male were taken into custody by detectives assigned to Eastern District Major Crime. These arrests were made by warrant, are the culmination of a 5-month investigation into this kidnapping and serious assault of this woman. Gordon will be held on a court-set $1 million cash surety bond and is scheduled to appear at the Hartford Superior Courthouse, GA 14, tomorrow morning. The juvenile was ordered to be held in the Juvenile Detention Center and is scheduled to appear also tomorrow morning at the Hartford Juvenile Court. Both arrest warrants have been ordered to be sealed by the Superior Court judge at this time. Both of the accused were charged with the following: kidnapping in the first degree, robbery in the first degree, conspiracy to commit robbery in the first degree, assault in the first degree, arson in the second degree, and larceny in the second degree. Again, we can't thank the departments that helped us enough. This is something that was a very heinous crime and really shook the community. Without their help and without their assistance, these arrests would not have been possible. Do you have any questions at this time?
Could you talk to us about why it took 5 months? Explain the timeline to us. I know the information is limited.
Again, the information is limited, but this is something that was meticulously worked on. It takes a number of resources to pull together and bring together a case like this. These two individuals were incarcerated for an extended period of time, so they were in custody. But again, making sure that we have all of our information accurate, dot our I's, cross our T's, make sure we have everything accurate, bring that forward. The state's attorney's office and the detectives that work on this case bring everything together to put forward an arrest warrant.
Can you tell us anything about the criminal history for either of them?
I can't speak to that at this time.
Are you able to say, was there a certain break in this case that got you to this point?
I'm sorry,
Was there a certain break in the case that got you to this point?
without seeing the arrest warrants, I'm not able to speak to that. That's something, I look forward to reading those warrants for sure. I think we all do. But that remains under investigation or under the seal of the warrant.
So if I heard you correctly, they were in custody before you applied for a warrant to arrest them at the corrections department. How long were they in custody for? And can you speak to what they were in custody for before that?
They were in custody. I know the adult was in custody, I believe, on felony charges. I don't know the exact charges, but I know that they were in custody for some time.
And then they were released and then kept.
Nope, they've been in custody this
Oh,
whole
they
time.
were.
Yep.
So you kind of had an idea, but you don't want to dot the i's and cross the t's, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you had them in custody, you knew they might be here, but you wanted to just, because they're in custody, there was no urgency.
Correct.
You want to make sure everything was done.
Yes.
They're not loose on, okay.
Yep, nope, there was no threat to the public. We knew that they were in custody. Again, it's just making sure the thoroughness of the investigations, and, you know, you heard the list of all the agencies that came together to work on this, and that's something that, you know, when you have that, you want to make sure that you're getting everything accurate to the best of your ability.
How important is it to be able to look into the cameras and tell Connecticut, that's a pretty, you said it rattled the community, to be able to look at this and say, we got them, or we've got people in custody for you?
Yes, we did get them. And that is something that, you know, I mean, I think people often see bad news. They're looking at these stories, these crimes being committed. So it's really nice to be able to come up here and tell people we have these individuals in custody. This was a successful investigation. I'm not surprised. I know, you know, those multi-agency efforts really bring forth the maximum results. So again, it's just something that, you know, we're very happy about, and I'm sure the other agencies are as well.
Do you know if either of these individuals are from Marlborough or another town?
I would have to look into that and get back to you.
So is it safe to say that they are connected to other crimes that happened in Connecticut?
That I would have to look into as well. I don't have that information at this time.
Okay, and I know the idea of it being a hate crime was brought up at some point in the investigation by other officials. Is that still?
So the charges that I have were the charges that were, you know, listed on the warrants. The state's attorney's office and the detectives that work these cases, and it's not just this case, you know, collaborate on the most appropriate charges that fit the facts and circumstances related to each individual case. Without, you know, with the warrants being sealed, this is something that, you know, they would have to speak to in regards to the appropriate statutes. But at this time, the charges that I have are the following that I provided.
Were you able to speak to the victim today, and how's she doing?
I personally was not able to speak to the victim. I know that our Eastern District Major Crime Detectives did make notification regarding the arrest, so I'm not privy to that conversation, but I'm sure it was probably a very emotional one, you know, but hopefully one that provided a great deal of security at the same time.
And are these the two only people involved in this case, or there could be more, or this is it?
The information that we have available is that the parties involved have been arrested. As it is with any investigation or any arrest, an arrest does not necessarily mean the closure of an investigation. So we always welcome any information that people may be able to provide in regards to any crime that's committed, because you never know where that may lead.
Is it still believed to have been random that the victim and the people who were arrested did not know each other before?
That information, as far as I know, has stayed the same, that there was no connection there, or no known, the parties were not known to one another.
And we've seen quite a few instances lately of, you know, people being robbed in parking lots in some cities across Connecticut, or attempted robberies. Is there anything that you want to remind people in order to keep them safe?
The biggest reminder is just be aware of your surroundings. One of the most important things that you can do is, you know, put the cell phone down. Make sure that you're really paying attention to your surroundings. You know, we want people to go out there. Don't be paranoid about your surroundings. You know, make sure that you just have a healthy awareness. You know, that's the best way. And if you see anything suspicious or anything unusual, don't hesitate to give us a call.
You say the investigation's always still going on. Were they looking to see if they're involved in any of the carjackings or kidnappings or things? Because there was a whole rash of them at that time, if I remember correctly.
I'm sure, I mean, they explore every avenue possible when it comes to information that they receive. And again, a lot of that information is oftentimes received from the public and through collaborative efforts working with other agencies.
I know some of the top commanders here came out and initially talked about this case. Can you just talk about how big of a priority this case was overall to state police?
I mean, again, this was one that really rocked the community, so that always takes a high priority. However, all of our cases, you know, we pursue all of our investigations aggressively. The people that are in these positions, they love what they do, you know, and there's a sense there that when you carry that passion with you, that, you know, it's like being passionate about any other job, and we're passionate about all of the cases that we work, and bringing those to a close with the best of the ability that we have. It's making sure that you put everything you have into every case that you have, and that you're not leaving any stone unturned.
Was, sure it's yes, but the fact that the car was on fire and also the fact that they abducted her, because usually we see people get robbed all the time, was that part interesting to you guys, and maybe that's why, I mean, you guys want to pursue the investigation?
Cars being set on fire is probably not something that's relatively new in regards to something that we see. You know, people will often use that as a method to try and conceal or cover up their part or their role in a crime. Needless to say, that doesn't necessarily hinder an investigation. So, and as you've seen in this circumstance, you know, we've made 2 arrests, so it didn't hinder this investigation. Any other questions? Again, I just want to say thank you to our local and federal law enforcement agencies. This is something that could not have been brought about without their assistance. And thank you all for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
And maybe you just check on where they're from for us?
What's that?
Where they're from?
Yep,
Can you check on
I'll
that?
look into
Okay.
that and I'll get back to you. Yep.
Thank you.